we go. We've got a little tier list here. And so what we're going to be doing here. What we're going to be doing is ranking the civilizations based on how gimmicky they are. So basically, the higher tier is going to be less gimmicky and the lower tier is going to be more gimmicky. What I mean by gimmick is like things that I don't think fit the game properly. Most civs are not going to get to S tier. S tier is going to be reserved for civs that I feel like fit how Age of Empires 2 should be designed. And yeah, how I think that Age of Empires 2 should be designed is that there should be pretty much a generic counter to every unit, especially in Castle Age. Unless the civ is just really weak or something like that. Like, they might have a really strong, unique option, but then they're lacking something, like they don't have a good economy or their tech tree is not super good. You can think like Old Spanish. Old Spanish, they used to have conquistadors, which was very strong, but then their economy was not so good. They've gotten a lot of buffs over the years, but we'll get there when we get there. So yeah, anyways, S tier, least gimmicky, and the ones that I actually think are fitting for Age of Empires 2. D tier is most gimmicky, where I think this civ just shouldn't exist in its current state for sure, or just shouldn't exist at all. Now, I don't really care at all about historical accuracy or anything like that. I'm looking at it from the competitive side of things. So I'm going to rate the civs based on competitive viability and how well they fit into how I think the game should feel to play. Something like that. Okay, I'll just do it in order, whatever this order is. I think they're sorted by region. I guess this is like European stuff. We got like Asian stuff at the end. So Celts. Celts, what do they have? They have a good wood bonus, but then their units are not quite as good. So I actually like it. Woad Raider, they're very strong, but not super gimmicky, I would say. I would say that Celts could probably... I would love to see the power level be a little lower, and I think Woads are just kind of way too strong right now. But we'll put them in S for now, because I think that they are fairly nice. And yeah, I'm not going to be able to give a long explanation for every single civ, because there's 53 of them. That was going to take forever. But yeah, we go S for now. I think they're good. We'll do a second tier list after, rating all of the S tier civs based on if I think that they're too strong. And then we should be able to come up with a civ list that would actually be pretty fun to just have as a tournament or something with only those civs. That's the goal. Let's see if we can actually make it work. So Britons, they have the extra range, but they don't have thumb ring on their archers. That's very cool. But the fact that they have Warwolf, which is not a very fun tech, they're gonna go A tier, because I think that it's just Warwolf that kind of doesn't make these S tier. Britons, Warwolf just shouldn't exist. So that's my opinion. All of this is gonna just be my opinion, so feel free to fight me in the comments. But yeah, it's okay to be a one-trick pony. They have the Warwolf gimmick though. Like, Warwolf is a dumb tech. Okay, Franks are S tier. Like, there's not much to say about this. They don't have any like real crazy gimmick or anything. Throwing Axeman, cool. And the cheap castles, cool. They have some gunpowder. They have weaknesses, like once they run out of gold, their trash units aren't super good. They have a pretty straightforward eco bonus. Nicely designed unit. Or civ. Burgundians. So the cheaper eco techs and one age earlier, I think it was actually, they had the good balance on launch, just people weren't good with the civ. Now that they're really strong, I don't really like it. And then the Flemish militia that you can train for the barracks now, Flemish Revolution. Yeah, this is like a mid-tier gimmicky civ, I would say. Coustelier with the charge attack as well. Yeah, it's gonna go B for now. It could honestly go down to C potentially, but I feel like we have even more gimmicky stuff, so let's put them in B. Celt castles do have a healing aura. Ah, yeah, that's true. Honestly, that's not so crazy though. That's not so crazy, but I actually totally forgot about that. Honestly, these guys are going down to A for now. We might put them back up. Because the A tier is like fixable stuff. B tier is starting to be like, yeah, that's like part of the civ design. C tier just like definitely is very bad. And then D tier is like, why does this exist? I love the healing aura. Yeah, honestly, it's not that bad, but it's just hard to really show that you're within the healing aura in this game. You can't really tell if you're going to be fighting under healing or not, for example. Put Burgundians lower. No. We're going to put them in B for now. This is like gimmick levels, not necessarily power level or anything. I think this is fine. Burgundians, I mean, yeah, it is kind of part of their core design to have weird stuff, but they could potentially be fixed. I don't know. Okay, Teutons. Teutons, they've got no real main, like, crazy gimmicks, I think. Crenellation Castles, it's cool. It actually gives you something against bombard cannons. And yeah, their full late game is just basic units with the Teutonic Knight. The Teutonic Knight is an epic unit. That's going S tier for sure. And they have a well-balanced eco bonus. And yeah, that's great. Rams with positive melee armor was a gimmick back in 1999. Yeah, I mean, I think Ironclad is completely fine, though, as a unique tech for +3 melee armor. So it's strong, but it fits the civ identity. And I mean, you don't even have siege ram, so it's balanced, actually. I like it. Okay, Goths. Goths? They have the new hunt bonus, which makes them pretty strong. They have Loom at the start that's instant. Huskarl is a pretty strong unit, but I mean, they don't have anything crazy. These guys are going S as well. They have gunpowder late, but then they have weaknesses. So they don't have the greatest archers in the late game, and they don't have the greatest cav archers because no thumb ring. But I think they still do have heavy cav archers, so like you could do them with bracer. And they don't have final armor on the cavalry, so they have weaknesses there. And then they have a lot of phases. Like with Goths, you play sort of archers or knights or whatever in the mid game, and then you transition into infantry late. Like they feel like a just good civ to play. They feel well thought out. Okay, Vikings. Vikings Berserk with healing. I mean, that was in the game since the start, but that's sort of the Berserker identity. They do have chieftains, which gives them gold back from killing vills, which I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's super late game and it doesn't really affect much though. So I think we can kind of forgive that aspect. Having the free wheelbarrow and handcart they're very nice. Very strong. And I mean, there are other unique tech. Volkswagen for +1 attack on arbs is whatever. So we're going S tier with this. Cool. Okay, Conquistador City here with the Spanish. So unfortunately, Spanish, I don't think I can put an S tier. Look at the missionary these days. Missionary, they can now pick up relics with the latest patch. Missionary can get cavalry armor and all this stuff. Even Conquistador, honestly, is just way too strong. It always has been. B or lower? Yeah. I mean, I'm tempted to put it in A, but you know what? We're going to put it in B because, yeah, Conquistador is just too powerful. If you look at Foster's style FC as well, you get those Conquistadors, they have no generic counter. And that's not really fun to play against. You should be able to go full feudal and have a chance against pretty much everything. And against Conquistadors, there's just no way. And the fact that Spanish build the castles faster as well, you can't even really deny castle drop on something like Arena as well. Yeah, well, let's put it in B, along with the Burgundians. We are ranking Gimmickiness, and I think that's like part of my criteria is that the units should be able to be fought with full feudal, something like that. And I mean the main reason is that Conquistador and Missionary are both just units that are kind of too strong, in my opinion. And it's not even just that they're too strong, it's that you would have to remove the unit to make it balanced. Like, the unit cannot really be balanced, those units. Other than that, I mean, they have Supremacy Vills, which is kind of cool, I guess. But you know what? Actually, we'll go up to A tier with this because yeah, it's not too bad. I think just missionary is the main thing I have a lot of issues with, but Conquistador as well, honestly, is just sort of too strong. Portuguese monks, like just having cheaper gold units, gold unit be cheaper is just super strong. And I mean, I don't really play water, but for water, this thing is crazy. Organ gun as well. Organ gun has no counter in feudal age, so if you just get to organ guns and then you add in monks, it just kind of kills everything. And then Factoria late is not gonna ever really be balanced for water. So yeah, let's put it in the B tier. It's not too crazy, but there are a few things like their unique unit. It's just not really great. Bohemians, I think also going to be B tier because these are basically the same civ. Portuguese and Bohemians, they have the exact same problems. Hussite Wagon can't really kill in feudal age. Bohemian stronger spears support their other units super well. Hufnitsa for late game has really no counter, especially on arena. Their monks, of course, have everything with the gold shaft and stone shaft mining. It's just yeah, it's a little bit too much, and I don't think you can really address that without actually just changing the civ completely. So we're gonna put them in B tier. Poles, I think they're also gonna be B. The folwark is really hard to balance because you can't. It's really map dependent. If there's a lot of space, the folwarks are gonna be crazy. If there's not a lot of space, then it's going to be not nearly as good. They have recently buffed them as well, which is kind of crazy. But in terms of gimmickiness, the O-Book as well doesn't do anything. So, in my opinion, the O-Book should shred 2 armor, but have less attack. That would make them much better at what they're supposed to be doing. But from my testing, if you go O-Book with ARBs behind to benefit from the less armor, it actually doesn't perform as well as just going full O-Book. So, it's not really super well designed there. Shalacta privileges as well, having full knight spam is kind of crazy. I do like the idea that you can go for a lot of knights without the final armor, but I don't know. It's kind of dumb in my opinion. Having healing vills as well is pretty rough. It's pretty just like not a very fun thing to play against sometimes. Almost a C tier, yeah. But I mean, it still feels like a regular civ, just somewhat with a few changes, so it's not too crazy. The idea of better farms but in a more dangerous location is good for Arabia. Well, it's not always more dangerous though. It's really map dependent. And with random maps, you can't really plan around your map being good for poles. This is why we probably don't really see them as much in tourneys. You can't really safely pick poles ever because it's like really map dependent, unless it's like a closed map. All right, Lithuanians. I think it's very close to being a very nice, well-rounded, balanced civ, or less gimmicky, but the Lightus itself is going to put it into A tier. Lightus ignoring armor and also having high attack is dumb, in my opinion. Also, getting attack from relics is really map dependent as well, which will never really be balanced. So, even just having the relics give any kind of bonus is kind of map dependent. That's the same for Burgundians too. I actually forgot about that bonus for Burgundians. It's the same for Burgundians. So yeah, I think Lithuanians are gonna have to be in A tier because of the Lightus and the relic bonus. Italians, honestly, what kind of gimmicks do Italians have? I think they're fine, right? They have cheaper age ups. Cool. They have Condottiero in the late game as like an early power spike. They were recently given Archer armor, like armor for free from the start, but that's actually fine. I don't think that matters that much. Oh yeah, they have pass through HC now. Okay, that's going down to A. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, having like pass through HC, it never comes up because it's super late game, but I don't really like that. So yeah, we're going down to A for that. I totally forgot that they added that in. Okay, moving on to the Sicilians. We've got Don John Sergeants. I mean, in theory, it's okay, but Halbert Cavalry could can also be in theory just like way too strong. Yeah, I think Donjon is kind of a fun concept, but it does allow you to snowball your advantages much more easily than other civs. First Crusade, yeah, First Crusade is also kind of just spawning 25 units by clicking the button is kind of crazy. So yeah. Do we go A or do we go B? It's definitely not S tier. I think it's more. I think it could be fixed. I think A tier is fine. Although Halberd Cavalry, yeah, let's go B because Halberd Cavalry is also kind of reducing the Hal bonus damage on them. You even have Arbs that can reduce bonus damage as well. It's gonna make certain matchups just really, really bad. It just messes with the entire balance of everything, I think. B for sergeants building donjons. Yeah, it's either B or A. Let's call it B for now. Okay, Romans. Romans, they have that 5% eco bonus, which I don't think can ever really be balanced. And then the cheap Scorpion, like they have too many Scorpion bonuses as well, which are just really strong. But the main thing is the 5% eco bonus is too much. Yeah, the charge attack tech as well. Aura unit. Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah, just even using the Centurion with Legionaries for the aura is kind of weird. 5% eco gets better with time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think should they be C? Are they more gimmicky than all these other stuff? Maybe they are. Honestly, with the aura, 5% can be 4. I think B. I think B because I think if you tweak some numbers with Romans, I think they can be all right. Other than the aura Centurion like legionary thing is never gonna feel Age of Empires. I think they can be. I don't think they're quite as bad as like C tier should be. They're gimmicky enough to not go and rank directly. That's true. That is definitely true. So I think they're gonna go B. B is already like quite bad. C and D are just even worse. We haven't even gotten to anything like even worse. Byzantines? Cataphracts are honestly like a little too strong, but they do fit the Byzantines. I think we gotta go S. I mean, I'm kind of a little bit biased towards the Byzantines, but I think they're just S. Like, you could argue that they're a little too powerful, but I don't think you can argue that it's too gimmicky. Having cataphracts with splash damage are very strong, but they come in so late that I think it's fine. Like, they don't have any eco bonus. And maybe giving free town patrol is a little bit too much. I think they just used to have free town watch, right? And they got free town patrol. But it's kind of fine. It sort of fits their playstyle. Yeah. Biz to service, super powerful unit if you can hold long enough. Yeah, agreed. I think maybe their bonus discounts could be toned down slightly, but maybe not. Maybe just the discount on skirms can be toned down. I don't know. But anyways, I think they're S tier on the gimmicky level. Ethiopians. They they only have like 3 bonuses. They have the extra resources that they get, 100 food, 100 gold on the next age. And then they have faster firing archers, and they have the outpost bonus as well as a team bonus. Their unique techs, one of them gives you extra armor on your camels and also on the showtells. That's fine, I guess. It's kind of weird. Yeah, damage reduction from cav unit. Yeah, exactly. And the other one is torsion engines. Yeah, torsion engines. We get the big blast. Yeah, exactly. Which is fine because it's pretty expensive for late. I mean, it's very strong. It is pretty late, and Ethiopians don't have a lot of things to get them there. So I think S tier. I think Ethiopians is fine here. I like it. Okay, Malians. Having the cheaper buildings. They have Gabetto, which is fine. These are the guys that have the TC tech with the Tigui that fire the arrows automatically. That's fine. They have Feremba for extra attack. Okay, extra attack doesn't seem too gimmicky. And Gabetto is a glass cannon type unit. Fairly low range, but higher mobility, and they just die to anything, but they kill everything. The Champ Scarls, okay, cool. That's completely fine. They're not even as good as Huskarls in terms of tankiness, and you have to get a bunch of text for them. So yeah, these guys are not gimmicky at all. They're nice. Berbers. So these guys have regening camels, and their regening camel archers, I would argue, are too strong. But I think that could be tweaked somehow. I think they could be balanced. And they actually, Berbers have no bonuses until Castle Age, where you get the cheaper cavalry. So you have to sort of, yeah, I mean, they have 5% faster vills in Dark Age. Like, it's not really much. They basically have nothing until Castle Age. And so Berbers don't have any like real major gimmick going for them, I would say. They're just a pretty solid civ. They're gonna go S tier. To nerf Camel Archer if they don't first nerf Mangada. I mean, yeah, agreed. Berberville Rush. I mean, 5% faster speed is going to help you a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. And other civs just have better bonuses. So, yeah, I think it's fine. A little bit of Vil rushing is still not such a bad thing to have in the game, I would say. Okay, Turks. Turks, of course, they have their unique play style with the free chemistry, so going faster to imp, making bombard cannons right away. That can be very good. I think the fact that they reduced the non-elite Janissaries range down to 7 made them significantly less gimmicky. Like, I think that Janissaries with 8 range in Castle Age were way too good, and there was no counter, but actually you can kind of make archers, you can kind of make skirms against them, which is fine. And then they have free light cav with 1 extra pierce armor in Castle Age, so if you can make it stable, you have options. I think the gold mining bonus is pretty strong. They made it really better, but I think it's okay because they don't really have anything else. So I think we're gonna go S with Turks as well. Turks is fine. Yeah, nothing wrong. Okay, Armenians. Well, warrior priests already, like, warrior priests with the fortified church. They made the churches way less crazy. But that's kind of, it's still really not very fun to play against. And spawning a free relic is really weird as well. Say that you're doing a setting where it's standard victory and there's no relics on the map. If you spawn a relic, you get the countdown timer for winning the game, by the way. That's how it works. Yeah, I think... Yeah, do you think we have our first C tier? We have, damn it, or we have armor ignoring composite bowman as well, which is always going to mess with the balance. And yeah, warrior priests being stronger than champions in Castle Age is kind of crazy. Having good monks is I mean, I just dislike the monk as a unit. Mule carts as well. Yeah, mule carts will never be balanced. Honestly, we go C tier for both of these. Both of these are C tier. They're like the same thing. Armenians and Georgians, they both just have the churches and they have mule carts. Those will never really be balanced across random maps. Because, like, if you look at any tournament map, these two civs are going to be crazy just because of the mule cart, even. Because on some maps, the maps are designed so that it's hard to take resources, like small woodlines and stuff. But these two civs completely just negate the fact that you really don't want to go for the smaller woodlines a lot of the time. If not even D tier. Yeah, I mean, they can't really be fixed, right? Georgians with the Manaspa as well. Honestly, okay. I think Armenians C, Georgians D. Because Manaspa is also really not going to be balanced. And Georgians with the aura eco bonus. So Georgians is like the situation with the Poles, where it's really map dependent. If you get a good map to put a church that can just cover all your resources, then it's super good. So I think Georgians is D. I think Georgians is like dumb. Feudal Longswords is, honestly, Feudal Longswords is fine though. You have to buy it. It still costs res. I don't think Feudal Longswords is enough to make Armenians go down to D tier. I actually think that that's a good bonus. I actually like that bonus. Yeah, Armenian ecotechs are a little bit stronger as well. That's a fine bonus, I guess. It's not OP, but it is gimmicky. I mean, depends on how you define gimmicky. I'm more defining it as something that I feel like doesn't fit the game. And I think having the longsword tech be available 1 age earlier is fine in my opinion, because it's still fairly expensive. And there's still a counter. That's the thing. There's still a counter to it. If you got an upgrade an age earlier and there's no counter to it, then that's dumb. But feudal longsword is just barely better than a men at arms. I mean, it is better, but for the cost, like the question is it better to add 3 more men at arms, or is it better to add longsword upgrade? It's an actual question. Yeah. If there was Expo in feudal age, that would be completely broken, and that would be stupid. Halves and Castle Age is, yeah, I mean, Halves and Castle Age is also, but Halves and Castle Age is still 900 resources in Castle Age. That's expensive. If you can click the Halb upgrade, you almost could have just gone Imp anyways, so I think it's fine. Armenian's full Castle Age is really strong, though, in certain situations. But, I mean, C tier is also already really low. I don't think I can justify putting it in D tier, like Georgians, but C tier is fine for them, I think. I think this is good. Magyars. Magyar Hussar with bonus damage against Siege with the level of their CA is way too strong. But that's not gimmicky. That's more of just they tweak a few things and then it's fine. And I actually think that the Corvinian army converting the gold cost of the Magyar Hussar into food, it's a good idea. It actually makes it so that you can afford the unit in the Castle Age, and then it becomes a unit you can spam late game. So I really think that Magyars they're too strong with their army, which is balanced by the fact that they don't really have an eco bonus, but they're still a little too strong. But I don't think it's gimmicky. So I think S tier. I think they can be fixed easily with a few tweaks. So yeah, I think S tier for Magyars is fine. Bulgarians. This is a hard one because they have free militia line upgrades, but that doesn't feel bad. That feels decent. It means that you can hit your men-at-arms timing 40 seconds faster, because men-at-arms upgrade costs or it takes 40 seconds. So you can kind of go up later to the next age, make your units a little later, but then still hit kind of the same timing. Yeah, I mean, Conic with the dismounted mode is a little weird. And being able to build Krepost can be strong. Yeah, they're a little gimmicky. But it's funny. Like, it doesn't even feel so crazy compared to some of the civs that we have, but I think we're going to have to put them in A tier. I think it's fine for the most part, but there's still some weird stuff that maybe shouldn't exist. Their unique techs are Bagains for the extra melee armor and stirrups for faster attacking cavalry, so those are both fine. Okay, Saracens. The market bonuses are kind of weird, but I think it's fine. Having one civ that is just good at using the market is kind of okay. It adds some flavor to the game. I think that the main problem is that the Mameluke is way too strong. They now take a little bit more bonus damage from skirms as of the most recent patch. I think Mameluke is still way too strong, but I think it can be balanced. The Aura Monk healing, though, is kind of stupid. So I think we're going to go A. Just because I think Mameluke and also the Aura, that's like a half step down to A. And they both together combine into a full step down to A from S. And yeah, I mean, bonus damage against buildings with crossbowmen is kind of dumb as well, in my opinion. So I think those things combined, they're close, but yeah, I think they have to be A tier. Persians. Faster working TCs, very strong bonus. War Elephant is kind of, it gets converted. Like, the fact that monks are in the game make War Elephants, you can keep it in check somewhat. They have citadels to shoot bullets now, which kills rams a bit faster, and it kind of kills other units in a different way. Like, it fires faster or something. It's kind of weird. I think it's fine, though. It just adds a bit of flavor to the castle without changing too much. Persian douche is a bit gimmicky. Yeah, I mean, that's fine, though. It's not a good strategy, so it's fine. Like, yeah, you can do that, but if you know how to stop it, it's not a good strat. The fact that their docks train stuff faster is really strong, but I think that's maybe okay. I don't really know much about water, but it's probably okay. Commanderon for the wood crossbowmen, you would think would be really like high on the gimmicky list, but they're actually not crazy. They're specifically good at killing halbs, but if you're up against heavy cavalry or anything like that, they're not population efficient at all. If you have a big ball of Persian wood crossbowmen late, it actually feels like your army is really bad. Unless you're fighting just pure halb, which, I mean, you are fighting a lot of halbs with the Savars. I actually don't like the Savar, though. I think Savar is the one thing that's really making me feel like this should be an A tier, because Savar have extra pierce armor compared to Paladin. Like, they're +1 pierce armor. They're also cheaper. And they also have bonus damage against archers. Like, they're just way too specialized. Trash bows are only good when an enemy doesn't have +4 horsepower. Yeah, agreed. So, like, you would think, okay, this unit is completely OP, but actually not. Sapphire is an idiotic unit. Paladin was good enough. Yeah, Persians also have Parthian tactics in Castle Age, which is really weird. I don't think it comes up that much because just, well, you don't really want to play towards a lot of CA, but I guess you can use them as your anti-pike. Less HP on Savar. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter at all. Yeah, I'm debating whether S or A. This is, remember, this isn't a balanced tier list. This is a gimmicky tier list. So, are all of these little weird things enough to put it in A tier? Or does it still feel like somewhat balanced? I think it's S. I think it's fine. I think they're too strong, but I think it's not really something that can't be fixed. I think if this civ still had, remember when they did that big Persian rework and they were like just giving them a bunch of buffs? If they still had the gold bonus where you get gold for killing enemy units, then they would be way down here. A due to Savar? Do we bump it down to A? Savar is just a different version of Paladin. I feel like you could adjust the Savar stats to have even less HP, and then it would be better against range, but then worse against halbs, and you would feel like, okay, it's fine. Right now, it just feels like a better Paladin. Yeah, bullets from the castle, but it doesn't really affect much, though. It just gives them something that, like, their castles are better against rams, basically. But it doesn't, but they're balanced because they don't have they don't have bracer. So, I think it's well designed in that sense. Persians is more gimmicky than Italians, for sure. But I feel like when you're playing Persians, you're just playing with normal units the entire game. And then late game, yeah, they have a few things, but I think that can be balanced. And I think they're not too crazy. Okay, well, let's continue. I think we're about halfway through. I'm going to put Persians in S. And we're going to do a second tier list after this, guys. If you weren't here from the start, we're going to do a second tier list after this, which will rank the S tier civs by power level. And whichever civs are like too strong, if they can come down the power level. And then we can come up with an idea for what maybe a set of balanced, fun to play civs will be. That's my goal with this. So we figure out the non-gimmicky civs, and then we rate them by power level and see if we can like balance everything. Okay, Aztecs. What are we thinking about Aztecs? Their main gimmick is that they have like more HP on the monks. Jags are way too strong now with the like crazy high attack, and then they also gain attack from kills. Do they have to go down to B? Or are they more like A? I feel like they're close to A. They're S+. No. Maybe B because of the monks, right? I don't know. It doesn't feel right putting them in B, though. They're not so crazy. They're going to go A. I think the Jaguar is too crazy for no reason. And then the monks are kind of really strong, but it's not so bad. How high attack is a gimmick? I don't know. Anything above 20. No, I'm just making it up. Yeah, I think Aztecs A. Like, they're not so crazy. They have a few things. Like, Jaguars especially are just too crazy. But, yeah, they randomly have 31 attack now. Yeah, exactly. Mayans, their unique techs are Atlatl. And I don't even know what it used to be El Dorado. It's something else now. They call it something else. I don't know what it is called now. But it gives Eagles extra HP, which is very strong. Honestly, like, probably too strong. The Plumed Archer Just moves fast. It's like a fast archer, but then it has one less attack than arbs. So it's somewhat balanced, you can say. And they're more expensive. Their siege is not super good. They don't have any like crazy bonuses, I think. Well, their resources lasting longer is a little iffy. But it's fine though. The American civs were always supposed to have like a little bit of a different way to play them, but not too crazy. You guys able to remember all the civs all these icons map to? Probably a lot of people can. Maybe coming up to these 3 new ones, people might not recognize them, but I can recognize them after a week of playing them. Now, can you remember the entire tech tree for every single civ? Now, that's the hard part. I think Mayans are S, though. I don't think they have... I actually hate playing as Mayans, and I hate playing against them, but I don't think they're gimmicky. Yeah, I think they're fine. I like it. Okay, Inca. D tier. Champi. Settlements now? Yeah, all of these are D tier. Settlements will never be balanced. And the Champi currently is not balanced at all. All of these guys are basically the same. The settlements are going to be exactly the same as what I said about the Poles, and the exact same I say about the Georgians. Because they're very map dependent. If you have chickens, gold, and wood all being able to be covered by one settlement, that's going to be like a triple building. That's like saving 2 settlements. That's like saving 250 wood, or well, like 200 wood, you can say, because the settlement is like a house as well, which already kind of saves you a little wood there. But that will never be balanced with random map gens. You never know if you're going to get a good map for the settlement. Because we don't have fixed maps in this game. So this kind of design concept is just fundamentally flawed. The Champi as a unit maybe can be fixed, but I honestly don't think that they can be fixed. I don't know what kind of compromise they're going to have to do to nerf this, but I actually don't think that the unit as a concept can be fixed unless you gave them, yeah, like a feudal Champi as your starting scout, kind of like how Eagles are sort of like a feudal unit, and then made the Dark Age Champi really, really bad. So yeah, I think these guys just are going to go down here. Just the settlement alone, I don't even know. Okay, so we can go through each of the bonuses as well. Okay, also Slinger for all these units. They're fairly new in their current balance, but Slinger being able to kill Siege. Okay, you can't ram push any of these civs because of Slingers. You can't even go infantry because they have Siege. Or sorry, they have Slingers. Normally champions are just the ultimate trash counter. These guys just have a trash unit that kills infantry hard. And yeah, I mean, the Slingers kill monks, but that's whatever. It's not a big deal. So I've played too many champion rushes. I can't even really tell you about the late game of these civs yet because the DLC's only been out for a week. But we've got the Mapuche here. These are the cavalry type civ. So they have splash damage on their cav archer unit. They also have a cav archer unit. And what's their other tech? I actually don't even remember. Okay. Real quick, since these civs are new, let's take a quick look into the actual tech trees of these. We'll just switch to here. Just because we need to do a little quick review of what these civs even get. So they're Bolus Rider, pass-through damage. Oh, that's on Slingers and Skirms as well. So you're giving these trash units pass-through damage. Crazy. Bolus Rider has a snare, apparently? Oh, yeah. It slows down enemy units. So, yes, it only slows down the unit that you target, but guess what? Units you move in formation in this game when you're moving them. And so they move at the pace of the slowest unit in the formation. So if you slow down one unit, it slows down every unit when they issue another move command with all their units. So it's a disaster. Butal Mapu, team castle units. So if you're playing team games, every team unique unit is cheaper. That will never be balanced. Ever. Settlements can train Spearman and Skirm. Maybe it can be balanced. I don't know. Extra HP, that's fine. Mounted units generate extra gold when defeating military. I mean, sure. I don't like it, but sure. But, yeah. I mean, the fact that this is a cavalry type American civ is cool, but, yeah, it's kind of weird. This Kona deals increasing damage to injured units, just kind of a weird gimmick. Like, it doesn't really... You don't play around that. That's the main thing. It's just, like, in the game for the sake of being in the game, but I don't think you play around that, really. So, yeah, it's not just the settlement for the Mapuche, as we just discovered. Okay, Muisca. Their settlements heal from Dark Age. Crazy. Crazy. The Guecha Warrior is apparently a skirmisher unit, but it has 8 attack, so 12 attack with all the upgrades. And that just kind of kills everything. And they're fairly fast. And also when they die, they regenerate the HP of nearby units. Yeah, that's the definition of gimmicky. Their unique techs aren't really gimmicky at all, but yeah, these guys have the Temple Guard as well from the barracks, so they have an extra unit here, which, I mean, it kind of makes up for lacking Held, so I'm not going to say that that's gimmicky. Although, no, this unit is, though, because the faster, or the longer it remains in combat, the faster it attacks. So it just starts to attack faster as it's in combat, which is, yeah, kind of not really Age of Empires, I would say. That's it for the Muisca. And then the final civ, which is the Tupi. These guys. Fallen units return 15% of their cost. I don't really like that. Villagers can garrison in settlements. Okay. That's fine, I guess. It's not too crazy. I think that is actually... That would be like a very strong, nice bonus to have. But it's not going to make it too crazy. Starting with extra res is fine. Archer range and barracks upgrades cost less. Cool. No problem. Gimmickiness is fine. Extra attack speed is no problem. Kurare is the one where you can say, yeah, this unit is, or this civ is kind of dumb. Dealing poison damage, just adding an entire extra mechanic just for the civ for poison damage that slowly reduces the HP. You can't really play around that or really communicate that that's even happening in this game. This doesn't really work. So, yeah, this unit trains in pairs. That's fine. That's actually a cool concept. I actually like it. But I think the units are way too strong right now. That can be balanced. But, yeah, poison damage is just not going to be very fun to play again. It doesn't add anything to the game. And then they also have this unique unit that does 100% splash damage all around it. So yeah, basically, yeah, as you say, it's like having Drazina in free in Castle Age. Yeah, this unit, as it's designed, is not very nicely designed, in my opinion. That is why all of these units are in the D tier. Or all of these civs, including Inca. I mean, Inca is there just because of the settlements as well. And, of course, Slinger and Champy. Honestly, okay, Inca can go up here. They're slightly less gimmicky than these, but it's like the same idea. Let's do it. Let's be fair to the Inca. They don't have quite as many weird stuff. But yeah, hopefully I've convinced you guys that these deserve the lowest ranking. All right, Huns. Huns. Not needing houses, but starting with less resources. That's a little weird, right, guys? That's a little weird. But the fact that you can't build houses means that your walls are not as strong. Oh, they have the horse on Nomad. Guys, horse on Nomad puts them in A tier. I was not sure which one to put them in. These guys are going to A tier just for that. And, I mean, the house thing is kind of weird as well. Of course, it's been in the game all this time, but it is a little weird to not need houses when everything else needs houses. But it is kind of balanced around the fact that your walls are not as strong, so it's kind of fine. But yeah, Nomad Horse is what puts them in A tier, for sure. People got used to it. I mean, Huns are chosen on tournaments just for their starting horse for Nomad maps sometimes. Like, Stranded in TTL. Yeah, the house thing is, it's forgivable. The horse on Nomad starts? No, not at all. Not at all. Oh yeah, they have Atheism, which it reduces, or it increases the time for standard victory stuff, but it also cuts relic gold in half. So if the opponent has 5 relics, you can cut their relic gold to like 2.5 relics worth. And that's pretty gimmicky as well. So, sure. That makes sense. Tarkin's being able to train at stables is their other unique tech, which is fine. I think that's fine. But yeah, Huns are going to be A tier. They're not quite a pure civ. They're not quite the pure-blooded S tier civ that we would hope they would be. Anyways, we've got Slavs, the Slavs. Nah, Slavs are not S because of Drazina. Splash damage. Splash damage is. You think Slavs are super vanilla? I think Drazina. Okay. I think they can be balanced. We're gonna maybe be nice to Slavs and put them in S, but with some balance changes, I think. Drazina, I don't know, splash damage on your guys. The thing is that it comes in super late. So having a little bit of weird stuff super late is kind of okay, I think, I guess. And then their other unique tech is the detonates, making your castles cost wood and stone instead of just stone. That's fine. If Biz are S, then so are Slavs. I mean, true. True. Yeah. Let's go S. You guys have convinced me. We'll go S with Slavs. The farm eco is really, really strong, but they don't have a lot of crazy options, and their unique unit is just kind of another heavy cavalry unit, which still is going to have similar balance implications to regular paladin. So you just need to make halb against it, and it's fine. So it's fine. Cummins is D. Cummins E tier. Yeah. I barely even have to explain this. Having a feudal TC in feudal age, or a second TC in feudal age, will never be balanced. It's going to be very map dependent. Going to be either way too strong or way too weak. You know what I don't think is bad? Is the feudal rams. I actually really like feudal rams as a concept. I think that if all civs got feudal rams, the game would be completely different. And I don't even think it would be in a bad way. I think that feudal rams for every civ would actually be fun. The only thing is that the only question is that how do you balance it around the fact that if you have a feudal rams, you need a siege workshop, and a siege workshop can train mangonels, and so every civ would have access to mangonels like very quickly upon castle age. So it would kind of be a lot easier to push your advantage. Feudal rams would be a men-at-arms fiesta probably. Maybe. Yeah. You might have to add something else to actually be able to kill the rams easily. So you'd have to do some balancing. It would have to change a lot. I'm not saying that it should be added in, but I think that having a way to push buildings in feudal age would be nice for the game. But anyways, the game is not balanced like that, so it's whatever. But anyways, the civ does have feudal rams, which is also a huge gimmick right now. But I don't think it's... The main thing that's putting Cuman's way down here is the second TC. And the Kipchak as a unit as well. Kipchak can kill rams. So if you just feudal boom with 2 TCs with Cuman's and then get up fast to castle age, make a castle, you're just safe against ram pushes. And the Kipchaks will kill mangonels, they'll kill rams with good micro. And so, yeah. Obviously, their late game is not super good, but you can't really survive until the late game against a competent Cuman player, generally. So, anyways, that's enough of Cumans. We got the Tatars next. Tatars, well, the Keshik is super cheap for what it does. Keshik needs to be nerfed for sure. But that's just a balancing thing. The main thing about the Keshik that's gimmicky is that they collect gold when they attack things. Which is just in the game for the sake of being in the game. It doesn't actually affect any kind of decision making that you're doing. They just collect gold when they kill stuff, which is dumb. I know chieftains from Vikings didn't put them back down to A tier, so that's not enough to put them down to A tier, but these guys have extra bonus damage on hills, which is pretty crazy. That's going to be really map dependent, but that's still not enough to put them down to A tier for me. Having longer lasting sheep as well is fine. What else do they get? They get extra pierce armor from the silk armor tech for their hussar, which is quite good. And for their, step lancers as well, and also cav archers. They have flaming camels, which is just a meme. I'm not even sure if that's like a real unit. It's just a meme. Although they got really good, though. 17 range trebs is strong, but somewhat balanced. Like Trebs already have super high range, so it's kind of giving them a bit more range doesn't make them like gimmicky or anything. Are flaming is all these things enough to put them down to A tier though? They still feel like they're playing standard stuff. Like they're a very strong Cav Archer Civ, and they can play Crossbowman. They don't have any unit that's just like really crazy though, because the Keshik is of course just a cavalry unit. They feel S tier. They have a lot of like little things that make them unique, but they don't feel wrong in the game. So I think we're gonna go S tier. Very hard to snipe for Walmart. I mean, they're harder to snipe, but I don't think the extra range is going to help. It's more of that they have Cav Archers protecting the Trebs. Yeah, okay, 19 range, yeah. I was just reading chat. Flaming Camel. Yeah, I mean, Flaming Camel is definitely a weird unit, but I mean, it's a suicide unit, though, so it's not really... It's not too crazy. It's debatable S or A. I think I'm going to go S because they still feel fine. They feel fine. Okay, moving on to Mongols. Mongols? I mean, it's a classic Civ. The hunt bonus is way too strong. Yeah, they have some gimmicks that are not going to put them in S tier, that's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm going to put them in B for now while we chat, because I feel like it's going to be B. So, Mangadai itself, having a bonus against Siege is stupid in my opinion. Yeah, they have Drill Siege, like faster moving Siege Onager and Siege Ram and Heavy Scorp. That's crazy. That shouldn't exist. I like some things about the Mongols, though. The fact that they don't have the final armor on their ranged units and also no final armor on cavalry kind of keeps them somewhat in check, but then they have higher HP on their Hussars. So it's like a different variation of Hussar. They're still good, but in a different way than other civs. So I actually like that. Yeah, they should never have gotten Step Lancers, that's for sure. Step Lancer itself is a very gimmicky unit. It might even bring down Tatars, honestly. Like, Step Lancer, it's just you don't really go for Step Lancer with Tatars because you just have other options. Might even bring them down, though. Honestly, like, let's bring down this. There's too many little things for Tatars, especially, like, the elevation bonus as well is kind of dumb. We're gonna go A tier. They have Step Lancers, so they gotta be here. Yeah, Mongols I think is B. I think B is, yeah, crazy. Stacking makes steps so obnoxious. Yeah. Stacking step lances has always been a thing. It's not like the current stack. You used to always be able to stack step lancers, and yeah, that is never gonna be really good. Yeah. Honestly, step lancer. There's only one other step lancer civ, right? That is, wait, what is it? Did we already? Wait, which is the other step lancer civ? Jurchen. Oh, Jurchens. Oh yeah, Jurchens and Key. Oh yeah. They added two more, Jurchens and Keto. Okay, we'll get there later. Okay. Moving on to the Hindustanis. These guys have Gulam, which I think can be balanced though. They do have a weird, like, pass-through damage with them though. So, yeah, I mean, the cheaper Vils are really strong. They don't have Knights, but then they have the Gulam. I think the Gulam itself is kind of crazy. Extra range on the hand cannons is fine. They have extra armor on their gunpowder as well, though, which makes them very strong, but it's not too crazy. I think Gulam, though, with the weird pass through is kind of the one thing that's making me think here. It's either A or S for sure. Like, they're very close. I think if the Gulam could be adjusted a bit, they would feel a little less gimmicky. I think we're gonna go A with these. It's very close, but the Gulam doesn't really feel like Age of Empires. Having like invisible splash damage for free. Not even splash. It's like some weird piercing damage. Anyways, Gajars are next. Yeah, Gajars are here. We'll put them in B for now because I feel like that's where they're gonna go. But Yeah, you can't fight Gulam in the feudal age as well. Exactly. So that could just be a balancing issue. They could just have less attack or something, or just remove the pass through, something like that. But yeah, I think okay for Gajars. Let's think about their bonuses. They have a lot. So they have the garrisoning sheep and mills. That's going to be very map dependent. Going into feudal, they don't have anything crazy in feudal. Going into Castle Age, they have Shravamsha Rider with the damage shield, which they've been nerfed enough where they're not really that strong right now. Oh yeah, Elephant Archer is also kind of crazy, right? Elephant Archer is just like cheaper Elephant Archers. Yeah, Kshatriyas making everything food cheaper is also kind of, that's just way too strong. Camel Scout at the start is fine. That's a little bit of flavor that I don't think really changes too much. Chakrams as well is really crazy. Chakrams, I hate chakrams. Chakrams are bringing it down even further. What's their other unique tech? Frontier Guards for just crazy camels. Late game, they don't have anything too crazy. It's just more of like their unit comp crazy is crazy late. Like they have chakrams plus camels or chakrams plus Halsar, chakrams plus Shravamsha. For reference, Pyrotechnica HC are stronger than chakrams. Oh, really? Yeah, I haven't really tested them too much because it's just super late, whereas chakrams come in a little earlier. Yeah, I think they're not quite as crazy as these civs, but I think Gajars in C tier feels right. Okay, Dravidians. Arumi with the splash damage. Charge attack already puts them at least in A. Skirms attacking faster is a fine bonus. That's not too crazy. Getting extra wood on the next age is fine. Having cheaper wood buildings is fine. Oh yeah, they have Thericidai. Honestly, I haven't really been thinking too much about water, but like unique Thericidai is probably unkillable, right? We go down to B tier with this for that. I think you have to pay for the splash damage. Wait, what? No, you don't. Yeah, you pay for ignoring armor. Ignoring all armor is already like kind of weird too. So I think B tier feels right. They're not as gimmicky as Gajars, but they're still like quite bad in terms of design, or like in terms of my idea for what would be good design for Age of Empires 2 civs. If I were just the creator of the game, I think B is fine. Okay, Bengalis. Bengalis. So early on, I mean, they get 2 vills per age up, right? So that's already kind of hard to balance. 2 free vills. But yeah, they have the Ratha, which, I mean, that thing is crazy. Just having splash damage, having high stats, having ranged and melee mode. They have Elephant Archers that have reduced bonus damage, crazy. They have Mahayana, which increases their population efficiency of villagers, so they can just get more population space, even though they have access to very high population efficient unit, such as the Elephant Archer. Ratha is a gimmick or just a badly designed unit. I think it's gimmicky. I think having the ranged and melee mode on a high mobility unit is stupid. If there was ranged and melee mode on an infantry unit, I think it would be okay. But having it on a cavalry type unit is not very good. Oh, regen ships as well. I totally forgot about that. I never think about that. Bonus against their counter is dumb as well. Yeah. I'm thinking B or C. Are they on Gajar's level or are they on Dravidian's level? I think they're on Dravidian's level. I think they're not quite as crazy as the Gajars. I think low B for sure. Yeah. They're sort of in the middle. We're going to go B here. I think it's pretty close. Their only counter takes too long to get into. Yeah, for sure. There's just no counter to the Ratha in Feudal Age, so it's like, yeah, you just have a very hard time fighting those. All right. So, Khmer is next. These guys have a few different things. So, they've got the farms that you don't need a drop-off point. That's going to be very, well, helpful. But it's not really so crazy like map dependent or anything. You just, I mean, it will be somewhat map dependent, but it's not such a crazy bonus. But you can garrison it in houses too, which really supports that. Not needing buildings to go up, that's fine. That's fine. So, Ballista Elephant being able to cut trees, I mean, it's kind of balanced by monks being good. And then you could just give them, just make them even weaker to mangonels or something if they're too strong. I think it's fine. They have elephants who shoot ballista, super gimmicky. I think it's okay, though. It's a unique unit. It's supposed to be unique. I think that's fine. They have a lot of things, though. What else do they have? They have longer range scorpions. Okay. They have, like, their other unique tech is just for extra attack on battle elephants, so that's whatever. I think it's B. I think it's B. It's pretty gimmicky. Not crazy, but it's pretty down there. They have a lot of stuff that's kind of doesn't feel quite right. The thing is, their units that they're playing with throughout the game are just regular units, though. Cutting trees. I think cutting trees with ballista elephants is, I mean, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Because you have to get a castle and then you have to make a ballista elephant. Like, that's pretty expensive. Your opponent's just going to make something good in the meantime. I think B tier is fine. That's a little harsh. I think it's like between A and B. So I think we're going to go B, and it's fine. Okay, Burmese. So they have free wood upgrades. That's fine. They have extra attack on infantry. That's fine. They have a cheaper text for monks. That's fine, I guess. Yeah, you see relics, which is also fine. It is somewhat map dependent, but it doesn't really matter that much. A Rambai, I think, could just use some balance tweaks, like, I don't know, taking bonus damage from archers, or maybe just having less HP or something. I honestly don't really think that the Burmese are too crazy. It's mainly just a Rambai being maybe a little too strong. But late game Burmese, I mean, what do they have? They have the really strong battle elephants, but that can be dealt with sometimes. And they don't have heresy. That's fine. I honestly might go S tier for these. I feel like they're fairly well designed. And they have no archer armor in the mid game, so they have some kind of weakness there. I think they're S. It's just the Arambai that I'm a little iffy on here. I think maybe reducing their range even one more. And maybe giving them a little less attack or something. Or maybe their missed shots should just do half damage. I think the fact that the missed shots do 100% damage now is just too strong. Like, they were thought of as a very bad unit for a really long time. And so if we can go back to that balance, they're probably okay. Getting redemption for half price is possible. Early castle is totally weird. Yeah. I mean, I think it's too strong, but I don't think it's gimmicky. I think it's fine. Malay. So what do we got for Malay? Malay have the faster aging up, which in theory is fine. Extra armor on infantry, that's way too strong for them, but not gimmicky. Karambit, okay, cool. They're like a fast training, low stat unit. That's cool. They've got the thalassocracy tech, or whatever it's called, for the shooting from the docks. That's kind of weird. I just don't really play water maps, so I don't really feel it. Fish with the extra, or harbors, that's what it's called? I don't know. They turn them into harbors. That's whatever. Because you have to get a castle, and then you have to get that. It's not too crazy. Trash swords is fairly balanced, honestly. Like, when they had gambesons, it wasn't balanced at all, but I don't think that's crazy. It comes in late game. It's just unique stuff for the late game is actually okay, as long as it's balanced. And it really doesn't make the game feel bad, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, infinite fish traps was kind of stupid. Now that they have a lot of fish, it feels just more like a Sicilian type situation, right? Where it still runs out eventually. They should feel pretty good for that. I think that's fine, because fish traps don't come until way later anyways. It's somewhat balanced. They have cheaper elephants, which is alright, because they don't have the second armor, so it's somewhat balanced. I think with some balanced tweaks, I think Malay should just be S. I don't think there's anything really gimmicky about them. Like, they have some weird stuff, but it's not too out of the realm of Age of Empires 2, I think. Okay, Vietnamese. Vietnamese, Rattown Archer is just like a skirmisher archer combo. It's fine. It's really, really strong, but it's kind of jank to micro. Feels somewhat balanced. Ecotex being trained faster is way too strong as well, especially for wheelbarrow. But that's just a balance issue. Revealing your opponent's TC on the map, I mean, it's fine. It doesn't really affect too much. Like, yeah, okay, you can lame right away, but you can just do that with any civ anyways if you just know the map. So it doesn't really matter. Paper money. Yeah, paper money is a bit gimmicky with the your lumberjacks generate gold, but it doesn't really affect anything. It doesn't make the game feel worse that paper money is in the game. So I think it's fine, actually. Even though it doesn't really fit, I don't think that's enough to bring them from S to A. Yeah, the ecotex don't cost wood as well. That's just a balancing issue, though. I think that Vietnamese are just way too strong, but that's not gimmicky. Paper money is weird, but yeah, it doesn't feel bad. It doesn't, like, reduce the funness of playing against Vietnamese because they have paper money. That's the main thing. It's just like they have a couple of extra relics for free late, but it's whatever. Their elephants are quite strong, but I mean, it's fine. It's just like any elephant unit. They have some counters. They're expensive to get into. They have Imperial Skirmisher as well, which it's fine. It's pretty strong. It kind of overlaps with the Rattan Archer a little bit, though, so it's kind of weird. Oh, yeah, they have Fire Lancers now. I totally forgot about Fire Lancers. Ooh, that's bringing them down to A tier for sure. Yeah, Fire Lancer is 100% bringing them down here. There's no way that we can put a Fire Lancer civ up in S tier. 0% chance. That unit will never be balanced, no matter what they do. Being able to have a unit come out of the barracks that doesn't cost food and has a ranged attack will mean that longswords will never counter them. Because they're just going to kill a few longswords and run away. And then just keep doing that. So, they were almost... they almost tricked me into putting them in S tier, the Vietnamese, but we saw through their tricks. Yeah, Fire Lancers are down there for sure. Jurchens, it's somewhere down here. Jurchens is up next. Here, we'll put him in B for now. They have Grenadiers, which, that's kind of dumb. They have faster attacking mounted units, which could be balanced. That's just tweaking. Fire Lancer definitely brings them down an entire tier. The hunt that doesn't decay is fine, I think. Like, it's very strong bonus. And might make you want to go this civ on certain maps, but it's fine, actually. It's kind of a fun bonus. I think it makes you play the early game slightly different. So I actually like the bonus. Oh, are these the guys with the regen on fortifications as well, the Jurchens? Yeah, I haven't really thought of it, but that's super gimmicky. They have Step Lancers as well. Their unique unit, the Iron Pagoda, has like a block for melee attack as well. Honestly, yeah, we're going down to C tier. There's too many like weird stuff with this civ. We're going down to C tier for sure. Like, there's just too many things. Yeah, I think that feels about right. Grenadiers are gimmicky? Yes. With good micro, they should just beat everything in Feudal Age for sure. And even they'll just fight crossbowmen sometimes too. They even have the blast radius unique tech to increase the blast. So that's crazy. Okay, Ketons with pastures. I feel like pastures is a good concept. I actually think that pastures is a good concept. They're way too strong. But I think that having 2 villagers be able to take farm a farm is actually a good concept. But the fact that the pasture, you don't need a mill as a prerequisite building. When you shoot it with ranged units, it doesn't make your vills go idle on the pasture. It's cheaper than farms. You don't need a drop-off point for it. Like, there's just too many things going for it for their current balance level. But they could be balanced. I actually think that the pasture is somewhat fine. I think it could be balanced. Yeah, they have that Laodao with sort of... It bleeds. Yeah, bleeds. Oh, yeah, and then they have the reflection tech. So their skirmishers and their infantry reflect damage. And then they also have cavalry regenning during combat. Double blacksmith upgrades is fine. No, I don't think that's even gimmicky. I think that's actually fine. They have mounted trebs, which don't really fit any role. They're pretty gold intensive as well. I mean, they're pretty good at sniping trebs and stuff, but they have lower range than castles, so they're a little tricky. I actually think that camel trebs are not such a crazy unit, but yeah, the Step Lancer is a Step Lancer civ. Heavy CA and Castle Age is fine because it's kind of expensive. They do have a discount on it, but it's fine. It's like one attack. It's whatever. You can still kill the CA with the skirms. It's all right. Oh yeah, mounted trebs have burn damage as well. Yeah, I'm debating C or D. I'm debating. It's pretty close. Like, they have a lot of weird stuff again about them. What are we thinking? I think D. Feel bad for the Kitans, but I think they're gonna be D. They're looking kind of weird. All right. Chinese. They already have Fire Lancers, so they're already not S tier for sure. Starting with extra vills, but like no resources that's like the most gimmicky thing anyone could ever think of. So we're already B tier, I think. We're already B tier here.
You had a misclick. Aztec is in the S tier.
I mean, it's actually close to honestly. Aztecs could have been S maybe, but the Jaguars brought them down. Anyways, Chinese Fire Lancers, their start will never be balanced, no matter what they do. Starting with extra vills, even if you give them less resources, it's never going to be balanced on all levels, because higher level will be able to execute the start well, and lower level won't. It's going to be map dependent. Like, if you start with extra food somehow, like say that you start with well, deep fish under the TC can really help them. Obviously, Chinese are way too strong as well, but it's not really about their strength. It's just that the start is very, very weird. So yeah, Fire Lancers already bring them down. Chuko Nu are good, but somewhat balanced by the fact that they die to Onager. And Chinese doesn't really have the greatest options for dealing with Onager and Halblade. So, like, in terms of balance, it's fine. Chinese unique techs are just rocketry, which gives the extra bonus damage to, or well, extra damage to the scorpions now. Oh, and these guys are a rocket cart civ as well, which I think rocket carts are fine. Oh yeah, this civ also has Lochuan and also dragon ships for their water. Their water is like way too strong with those units. It's pretty gimmicky. Honestly, we go down to C tier. I'm pretty sure that the fast fire ship's already crazy, and then the dragon ship is even better. So that's nuts. I think C tier is fine for them. Okay, so all of these three next civs, Shu, Wei, and Wu, they have traction trebuchets, which already bring them down quite a bit. Because that unit will never be balanced, because they don't require chemistry, they move decently fast, they come out of the siege workshop instantly on the next age. Nuts. Yeah, chemistry and free artillery, exactly. They also have heroes as well, which I actually don't mind the concept, because they are... It's like one more thing that when you're pretty much maxed out, you can just buff your army a little bit more. But, yeah, I mean, they all have aura effects too, right? And, yeah, War Chariot for the Shu is already a D tier, for sure. Like, Shu is nuts in terms of just, like, a design. They also, like, Bolt Magazine for the extra arrows on the archers is fine, I think. Their lumberjacks collect food, which is not a very well-balanced bonus, I would say. I don't think it'll ever be balanced. What else do the Shu have? Their other unique tech makes the Spearman line and their unique unit, the White Feather Guard, when you have more of them together, they get more HP. That's pretty gimmicky. Mango's move faster is fine. I don't think that's gimmicky. I think that's fine. But yeah, their extra HP on their units when you have more of them is kind of weird. White Feather slow. Yeah. Okay, so their unique unit also has a snare effect as well. That's kind of dumb. So I don't really like that. All right. So D tier for that for sure. Wei, is it D tier? Okay, let's think about Wei. So Wei, of course, has traction trebs. Their Tiger Cavalry is way too strong, but I think that's just a stat thing. Tiger Cavalry get extra HP when they kill stuff, which is pretty gimmicky, but it doesn't really affect anything. You don't really think about that, so it's not that big of a deal. Of course, they have a hero, which brings them down a bit. They have Shanbei Raider, which is just a different take on the Cav Archer. I think that can be balanced though. And their free vills from Ecotechs. Not sure how that can really be balanced, but maybe have it only affect certain Ecotechs, and then maybe it's okay. Pretty down there though. I really think Shanbei Raiders it's more of a balance issue. I don't even think that it's such a strong unit. Although they do have the weird charge attack on them though. Units generate food, but that's after you get a tech, and that's late game. So it's more like Vietnamese level where it kind of doesn't really matter. They have armor. Oh yeah, armor unique tech. So, but that's fine. That's not gimmicky. Honestly, I think Wei. I think Wei is C. I actually don't think it's as gimmicky as the shoe. I think it's down there for sure. This is reserved for the absolute criminals, and I don't think Wei is a criminal. I think they just exist. It's definitely a toss up though. Haegwongs are kind of weird, like a pointless knight alternative. Yeah, Haegwong, they have lower HP, so they're worse against pikes. So I think Haegwong's fine though. All right, Woo. We have regenning infantry units. John Swordsman is kind of, it's been balanced a little bit more where you can't go FC into it, but they don't even have a unique, or say they don't have an elite upgrade, so they kind of really drop off in the late game. It's really weird. Traction Trebs and Hero already brings them down. They have the even stronger Traction Trebs. The Fire Archer as a concept is also kind of weird. It's not a very good unit, but it is kind of weird. I think, the stance changing John Swords are pretty crazy. Traction Trebs with the unique tech is, yeah, not fun to play against. Is it? I think it's more like Wei though. Extra food from production facilities is kind of weird as well, but it's not so crazy. I actually think they're more like C tier. I think Shu is the only true like D tier out of these three that just should not exist with their current stuff. I think these two can maybe be somewhat balanced if they somehow removed Traction Treb or something. You could do something with these. I think. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Okay, Koreans. They have Fire Lancer, so they're already not S for sure. War Wagon does die to skirms, so it's somewhat okay. Free armor shouldn't exist for the Civ for sure, but that's just a balancing issue. Having cheaper wood cost on their units is fine. Having free tower upgrades is fine. Yeah, Turtle Ship is also kind of, they made it really weird these days. I think they gave it a quadruple buff on the previous patch, right? So they're probably completely busted now. They have extra. Wait, they used to have extra range on Onager, but then they got changed, right? Now they have extra range on rocket carts, which are a little bit different. Yup Song for the extra. I actually like the Yup Song tech for extra range on towers, because then their towers outrange bombard cannons, and then they have some utility there. It's very cool. Yeah, collecting stone faster is not a gimmick. That's fine. Honestly, like, they have a lot of little things, but I think they're very close to feeling fine. I think if they remove Fire Lancer from the Civ, I think they're S. But I think their Fire Lancer Civ, they have to be A right now. Yeah, I don't think they're so bad. They're pretty close, but Fire Lancer will never be S tier. All right, and last but not least, we got Japanese here. Well, Samurai they received a charge attack, which is a little weird. It's not crazy though. It doesn't really fit the game 100%, but it doesn't really affect a lot, and it doesn't make the samurai feel bad to play against. So I actually think it's okay. Samurai is the only gimmick. Yeah, I mean the faster Faster firing and faster packing and unpacking trebuchets are nice. They have their Yasama keeps, which are okay, it's fine. Cheaper drop off sites is fine. I think samurai is really the only thing. They have cav archers that do extra damage to ranged units, which maybe shouldn't exist, but that's just like a balancing thing. That's not really a gimmick. Yeah, it's strong, but it's not gimmicky. So the only thing I'm thinking is the samurai with the charge attack. But that's not too crazy, right? Let's see. If we put them in S tier, what does that compare to in terms of gimmickiness with all of these civs? I mean, it is the one that feels kind of out of place, right? If you think of all of these other civs, it's the only one that is really like weird, right? Weird having a melee damage unit that has range. No, it's fine. They're unique units, so they can have something unique about them that isn't too crazy. But having a charge attack where they charge up and then go on cooldown, that's a little weird, right? The only reason why I'm kind of troubled by which one to put it in is because it's not that strong, or it doesn't like make them feel bad. But it is pretty weird. Maybe I'm gonna put them down to A just because of that. It's so close. It's so close. But I think I'm gonna put them down to A. Okay, wow, this is actually very balanced tier list. Look at this. Very balanced. I thought it was gonna be all over the place. The S tier is the longest tier. It has the most civs in it. And I think that is very nice to see. And I mean, the bottom tiers, they do have still quite a few civs in them, but it's fine. Humans at launch is FT. I mean, yeah, it's fine. What we're gonna do next, actually, is we are going to rank all of the S tier civs based on how strong they are next. So here are our civs. So we've got these civs. I just put them in S tier for now, but we're gonna sort them by how strong they are. So Franks feel pretty mid. Teutons pretty mid. Vikings, maybe better. Byzantines Byzantines are up there for sure. Ethiopians pretty mid. These guys pretty mid. Malians, Berbers kind of mid. Turks is, I mean, if we're thinking Arabia, right? Turks is kind of worse. Magyars is up here. Magyars is up here. These guys are up here. Slavs are probably A. Burmese maybe B. And Malay is S. Maybe Burmese is like A. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is exact. Like, I just did this real quick. So let's see. What are we looking at here? Byzantines. Of course, they don't have any eco bonus. Honestly, Byzantines might feel more like an A tier civ. Magyars, of course, have no eco bonus, but they have better early aggressive options, which can be really good. Persian eco is just insane. Mayans, I mean, are they really S though? Out of all of these, like maybe they're more like A tier actually. Malay is up there as well. Malay with the faster uptime and then free armor upgrades is just nuts. Like cheap. I like cheaper farms for Teutons as well, but that doesn't mean it's actually good. In terms of compared to everything else. Is Turks really a C tier? Is it Turks really worse than all of these? That's the real question. I actually don't think they are, because they have cav archers. The buffed gold bonus now is really good. I think it's more like that. I think they're actually very close. I think Magyar Hussar power level can come down a little bit. Their late game cav archers are just very strong. Maybe not giving them faster producing cav archers in the mid game is probably better. Like they added that as a buff recently, and I don't think it was necessary. So I think if you just nerf Magyar Hussar and don't give them the extra train speed, then they're fine. Persians, their work rate is kind of too much. Just remove the Dark Age work rate again. They were kind of feeling kind of bad without the Dark Age work rate, but I think that was maybe good balance. Byzantines, of course, it's just all around really good with the discounts, and vision is nice. Vikings, their eco bonus is really good throughout the game, but then, of course, it doesn't really do anything for you late. They have siege ram with infantry though, so it's decent late game. Slavs, their farming bonus it just works forever, but they don't have any crazy units. Burmese free wood techs are really nice throughout the game. And of course, their cheaper monk techs and more attack on infantry is quite nice. And a Rambai can do something, for sure. And of course, they have bombards as well. No hand cannons, but bombard cannons. So they have some good options. Mayans are Mayans, so they have the resources lasting longer, cheaper archers. Plumed archers is a pretty good unit. They have siege ram, eagles. They have a lot of good options too. Franks, I mean, okay, let's talk about the B tier. So these civs just feel like worse than the other civs. They still feel decent, but they just feel worse. Franks are more one-dimensional. They have free farm upgrades. They have extra HP on scouts, but then they don't have bloodlines, so they end up with less HP on scouts compared to bloodlines. They don't have hussar either. They don't have good skirmishers, like they're lacking bracer and the final armor for skirms. So late game they have some holes in their tech tree, but they have paladin. Teutons have just like kind of the same issue as Franks. They at least have the final armor on skirms, but it's like they don't have husbandry. It's just like a paladin civ with decent farming eco. Teutons have some other special things they can do with towers and stuff, but yeah, it's fine. Ethiopians, I mean, they are an archer civ, which already puts them in a pretty good spot, but they don't have any like crazy eco techs or anything. Their late game with like Shotel Warrior just eats all your gold, so it can be situationally good, but it's not really a unit you just mass and have a big death ball. Your death ball is more like just Arb and Bombard Cannon, which is pretty generic. And no final armor on cavalry does give them some weakness, which is pretty nice in terms of balance. Malians, they don't have bracer, and they're just weird. You have to make a big transition to cavalry late, and they don't have halberdier. They're missing kind of a lot of very important techs. Their wood savings throughout the game still makes them decent, and Gebetto is a pretty good unit these days. With bombard cannons as well, they can do something, but yeah, I just feel like they're not on the same tier as the other ones. Berbers with no eco bonus early, it takes a while to get into anything good with Berbers, so they have to last until later on, and then their late game is decent. Like, Camel Archer Hussar is an amazing combo that kills a lot, but getting to there is pretty difficult. They have Janitors as well in the mid game, which can be good, but yeah, they don't really have a lot of interesting bonuses to go for. And then Turks, they have the free chemistry for late. They have free Hussar, extra Pierce armor on the Hussar. They have a lot of bonuses in that sense, but nothing crazy impactful early on. I mean, they have the gold mining bonus early, but it's not crazy. Having extra Pierce armor on scouts and feudal is nice, but you still die to pikes just as hard, or spearmen, I mean, just as hard, so it's a little tricky. And then, of course, you have no elite skirm and no pikeman upgrades, so you have some major holes for Turks. So I think I'm satisfied with this tier list for the power level of the S tier civs that I was ranking in the previous tier list, which was based on the gimmicky levels. This is my tier list for non-gimmicky civs in the game. And I think having a tournament that featured just this civ pool would actually be very fun. Turks have good CA. Yeah, exactly. They have good units for the late game. It's just their early game is not as good. Generally, this tier list is going to be more like early game stuff, I guess, because the early game matters more. This is thinking about Arabia. But yeah, Turks' final unit comp is actually quite good. I think any of these civs are decent. I didn't put anything in C, D, or D tier, so I feel like the power level is pretty close. The top tiers could maybe come down a little bit. The bottom tiers could maybe be propped up slightly, but I actually think it's very close to balanced. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.